Hello and welcome back to Setup Phase. Today we will be continuing our journey in Ulos with the sixth adventure entitled Bogroot Demon. I've already set up most of the board. We have two random encounters which have been shuffled. We start with 3 gold from our previous adventure and we have 3 bonus play limit. I've filled the attribute road tracks. And we also have one of the backstories for exonerated at 6D whenever we find that location. Let's begin with the story and see what we have to do. When a rift opened over Sobek Palace, King Taron leapt into another plane, and you were arrested for his murder. You've managed to break out of Coolback prison, but word will spread quickly that a Kingslayer is on the loose. Construct guards are no doubt already on your trail, and last you heard, General Grick marched your old regiment in this direction. Your path brings you to a wide marshy delta. A gigantic mangrove tree breaks the otherwise flat horizon. Its massive roots embrace several small islands known as Bogroot Swamp, home of the frogkin. You press forward into Bogroot, and the swamp grows increasingly humid, loud with the buzz of insects. Place the party marker at location A and read entry A. Sandhill Village. If there is no XP at this location, there is. Otherwise, collect the XP from this location and continue reading. You arrive at a small frogkin village, and the residents swarm around you. They appear desperate for your help. An elder, who introduces herself as Magbuk, tells you that cultists come to Bogroot and imprisoned an infernal creature within the great mangrove tree. Now, a phantom of this creature torments everyone who travels the swamp roots paths. You come late, says Magbuk. The rest of the king's guard is already hopelessly lost in the swamp. We are afraid to venture beyond our shores. You must help us purify the tree. Brave the swamp and bring us back whatever you find. I can make a cleansing potion with the right ingredients. Magbuk walks you to the shore, which is crawling with starfish. She picks one out and hands it to you. For luck, she says. Reveal discovery card 68. Which, as expected, it's the starfish. It doesn't cost any stamina to use. We can use an item rest or move to another location. Well, we got the starfish, let's use it. Magbuk looks at you skeptically. If I could fix our problems with the starfish, we wouldn't have any problems at all. She makes a sweeping gesture across the shore, which is crawling with the creatures. Use another item, rest, or move to another location. There's nothing for us to use. Let's move to another location. Do we go through 2 adventures to go to the observatory? Yeah, sure. Let's see how the first one goes, and then we can decide if we go to the mangrove or the ancient observatory. But along the way, we have encounter number 1. In this oppressive heat, the work of climbing up and down the mangrove roots is hard work. You pause to swat the bugs gathering to bite at the back of your neck and spy a rat-folk woman eyeing you nervously from the top of a rise in the root path. The woman holds a small knife and a white metal bowl. She points her blade in your direction and instructs you not to approach her. I don't want any trouble, she says. Tell me this, so I know where you stand. Are you friend of the Frogkin or to the shadow that torments them? Tell her you are friend of the Frogkin. Tell her you prefer the shadow. This is gonna be an interesting choice. I'm assuming Frogkin are Dragul, and we're not friends of Dragul. Let's go with the shadow. The Ratfolk woman face brightens when you announce your allegiance to Elsifor. You hear sounds of claws scrambling up the sides of the root path from below you, and soon you are surrounded by ratfolk who appear pleased to meet you. A friend of the shadow is a friend of ours, says the woman holding the metal bowl. The Frogkin stole this from our people hundreds of years ago, and they are getting their just punishment now. Perhaps you would like to see how it has always been used by ratfolk in our ritual. Watch the ritual or try to take the bowl from them, which will be a fight. Let's take their bow. The ratfolk race at you with their blades from all angles. We have a combat with a band of ratfolk. And here they are. The band of modifiers says that during the first round of this combat, the combat dice limit is reduced by 2. Our combat dice limit is 7. This means that in the first round we will only roll 5 dice. Considering we need almost every color, let's just draw the 5 dice randomly. And let's roll them. We have a white 6. This was a black 5. A purple 5. Oh, this was easy. We only need a red 6 and any green. The red is easily done with steadfast to turn any color into red or white, and I will turn the white 6 into a red 6. And to get us to green, I need to play 2 cards. First is weak to turn this black into a red, and then relentless to turn the red into any color, which will be a green. With this, we completed the combat. We return the discarded cards and the dice. We get our rewards, which is 2 experience and 1 gold. And let's see what we have for our adventure. You overpower the ratfolk and send them running. In their haste, they leave their precious metal bowl behind. On close inspection, you find its interior engraved with the name of the frogging deity. Reveal rare card 1. And the rare card 1 is a basin of Bogroot. Increase a die by 1 and decrease another die by 1, which is a spent card. We haven't taken any damage. Let's go to the ancient observatory, and going through there we need to have the second random encounter. If you have the keyword evade, we don't have any keywords. As you make your way across the route path, a group of construct guards surround you, weapons drawn. One construct steps forward and pulls a wanted poster from her bag. She consults the poster and looks you over. Confirmed, she says. Target acquired. Prepare for transport back to Coolback. The other construct approach with manacles and chains. Make a run for it, which will be a dexterity and constitution check, or convince them they've mistaken you for someone else, a constitution and charisma check. Let's make a run for it. As the constructs approach, you sprint through a gap in their ranks. Alarmed, they pursue you with haste. We have a quickness 3 skill check. This won't be good. For skill checks at level 3, the dice limit is 8, and we need all these dice to add. Let me spend maybe 2 dexterity for 2 blacks, and maybe 1 charisma and 1 constitution for a purple and a green. We have 4. The remaining 4 I will draw randomly. And let's roll them and see what we can do. Not very much. We can add the 6. It looks like that's about it. I can still play 4 cards and I still have 3 bonus play limits. Oh, it's good that we have the basin of Bogroot. We can increase a die by 1 and decrease another die by 1. I will decrease the purple 3 by 1 and increase one of the black 3s by 1. and I can place them. I can use famous for the second card place to turn the purple into a black. Now all I need is 2 ones and a 4. Well, the 4 I already have because the last die slot can be either a black or a green. This means I only need 2 ones. I can use weak to turn any color into a purple and place it. I only need a black one. And I can use my glass dagger to decrease the black 2 by 1 and place it. With this, we completed the check. Let's return the discarded cards and the dice. We gain 2 experience. And let's see what is the outcome. You leave the constructs behind. You've escaped for now, but they are not likely to give up their search for you so easily. Record the keyword evade. Move to the next location on your path. Remove these and any other encounter tokens remaining on the adventure map and place them face down in your token pool. Shuffle the tokens and starting near location A and proceeding clockwise around the map, fill each available encounter space with an encounter token from the pool. So remove this and any other encounter tokens remaining on the adventure map. It's only this. It only means that it's moving here to A, so we will need to encounter it again if we want to go back to the Sandhill village. We have reached the ancient observatory, so let's encounter it. If there's no XP at this location, there is. Otherwise, collect the XP from this location and continue reading. The roots of the mangrove used to extend to this island, but they have been swayed off several feet from the shore. Their stumps painted with the eye of the starlit door. With the observatory, you find that the domed ceiling and walls are still painted with a mural of the heavens, marking each constellation. The great lenses, once used by the ancients to observe the celestial movement, have fallen and cracked. Statues of rocking villagers pose in states of surprise among the chunks of broken glass. As you marvel at the work of the ancients, you hear the sound of an animal sniffling around in a dark corner of the observatory. Something has detected your presence. Charge at the sound, which is a fight, or hide and see if you can sneak up on it, a dexterity and constitution check. I don't think Cass is a sneak person. Let's just attack. As you charge forward, an angry basilisk leaps out of the shadows to defend its nest. Its eyes glow a burning red. Every second you meet its gaze, your movements grow slower, your limbs stiffer. We have a fight with the paralyzing basilisk. The paralyzing trait states that to play a card, you must move 1 stamina from one of your attribute rows to your fatigue box. In the first 2 rounds, the basilisk won't do us any damage. And our combat dice limit is not reduced. It's the full 7, which I will just draw randomly. Let's roll them. The familiar die is both a white and a purple at the same time. Can we place anything? No. We could place this one, but let's take a moment and see if we can do anything else. I can use the Disarm Trap for the first card play to flip 2 of the black dice. Let's flip this 4 into a 3. Maybe it will be useful. Let's flip this 5 into a 2. I think I will need to play some trades in order to change the colors of these dice. Well, let's add this one here. Let's just bite the bullet, and for the second card, play weak to turn any color into a purple, and I will turn this 4 into a purple. But because of paralyzing, I will need to move 1 stamina from one of the attribute rows to the fatigue box. Let's move it from strength because we have a lot of it. 2 cards played. I only need a green one. And I can do that by playing 2 weapons. The first is a long sword to decrease this 3 into a 2. And the second one is the spiked shield to decrease it further to a 1. We have covered all the dice slots. Let's return the discarded cards back to the hand and the dice. The benefit is 2 experience. You make short work of the beast. Searching around in the dark for anything of value, you discover a basilisk egg. It is slimy and smells awful, but you take it with you. Reveal discovery card 97. A basilisk egg. It doesn't require any stamina in order to use. You discover an indentation in the wall that is shaped like a 5-pointed star and set in the crown of a constellation Marin, the dragon goddess of the sea. If your starlit door is 3 or higher, no way close. Use an item rest or move to another location. Let's start using our items since they are free. And begin with the starfish. You try to press the starfish into the indentation in the wall. It's the perfect size, but it wriggles its arms and won't stay long enough to fill the space. Maybe find a way to paralyze it. What about the basilisk egg? You inspect the basilisk egg closely. It really does smell horrid. Want to taste? No, thank you. We can choose a player to lick the basilisk egg, use another item, rest, or move to another location. I think maybe use them together. So 68, 97. You hold up the starfish and the basilisk egg, looking at them from below against the mural of the stars. The starfish and egg look like heavenly bodies floating through space together. We can use another item, rest, or move to another location. There's nothing left for us to do. We are moving to the mangrove. If you have the keyword purged, no. Heresy, no. Greed, no. Indifference, no. If there is no XP at this location, there is. Otherwise, collect the XP. You stand at the foot of a giant mangrove which towers silently over you. Its many leaves rustle in a wind high above while you remain stuck in the oppressive swamp heat below. The trunk of the mangrove is as wide as a small village, but someone has tied a purple silk ribbon inscribed with silver runes across it. The Frogin villagers were awfully upset about this tree and said that some evil force has taken possession of it, but you don't see any signs of devilry. Perhaps the evil phantom lurks somewhere on the other side. Walk around the base of the tree and look for anything out of place. Constitution and wisdom check, or examine the silk ribbon more closely, intelligence and wisdom check. We might be better with a constitution check. You walk northward along the perimeter of the giant mangrove, scaling and descending the twists and knots in its roots. As you make your way around, you have a steadily growing sense that something is watching, floating behind you in the human swamp air. The sense grows into a conviction, and then a sort of paranoia. You are convinced someone is following you. If your Dragul is 3 or higher, it's -3, doesn't count. We have a skill check, observation 2. The dice limit is 6, and we need a lot of whites. Let me spend 2 from wisdom in order to get 2 whites, and get the other 4 randomly. Oh, this won't be good. Nothing matches. Great. We still have our 3 bonus play limits. For the first card, I will play the runic pendant. This allows me to either reroll or flip a white die. And I will flip this 2 into a 5 and place it. For the second card, I will play Tumble, which allows me to flip any 3 or 5. And let's flip this 3 into a 4. I can play Famous to turn any purple into any color, and I will make it a green. I've played 3 cards. Steadfast allows me to turn any color into a white, and I will turn this red 5 into a white. And for the fifth one, which costs 1 bonus play limit, I can turn any red into any color, and let's turn it into a green. And for another bonus play limit, I can turn this green into a 5 by increasing it and placing it. We completed the check. Let's return the discarded cards and the dice. We get to experience because we covered the dice slots with experience. Let's see what we find. Suddenly, a horrid chill crawls up your neck, and you look upward to find a 7-foot-tall, horned shadow passing over you. It greets you with a deep voice. Well spotted. You'd be surprised how many pass by without even noticing my presence. The shadow waves its hand at you, and you feel suddenly more powerful. Each player add 1 stamina to any one of your attribute rolls from the supply, ignoring the usual limit. Maybe to wisdom? The shadow settles on the ground before you. I am Elsifor, he says, at your service. I'm afraid I've been bound to this tree by some horrible spell. I can't go anywhere the tree doesn't go. And so I've been passing the time by getting to know the locals. Anything you can do to liberate me would be appreciated. Actually, there is a small matter you might help me with. I'm having some trouble with a meddlesome woman at my new temple. The shadow sinks into the mangrove roots and is gone. Reveal Discovery Card 5 and place an XP on it. A location, which is square and 2, it will be here. And we place an XP on it. We can use an item rest or move to another location. I think we should start using our items and start with the starfish again. You press your starfish to the bark of the giant mangrove and it holds on as well as it can. It's not a very good climber. And the basilisk egg? You place the mucus-covered basilisk egg at the base of the giant mangrove. It's really gross, and the heat of the bogroot amplifies its smell. But people say these things are valuable, so you put it back into your bag. Together, you hold the starfish to the slimy basilisk egg, and the starfish recoils. Even this simple creature knows better than to taste that slime. No more items to use. We move on to the Frogkin Temple. I could rest, but I think we can do one more before resting. If there's no XP at this location, there is, otherwise collect the XP. Giant roots embrace the simple form of a stone temple. As you approach, you hear the sound of a hammer at work. You enter, passing through a low archway, and see a robed priest atop the statue of a Frogkin god, Bourglap, chipping away at the idol's face. A faithful devotee stands at the foot of the idol, begging her priest to put down his chisel. Elsifor appears in the air next to you. I know what you're thinking, and yes, it's odd behavior for a priest. I made him a deal. He could destroy the temple, or I could tell his little secret to everyone. It seems he'd rather keep his silence than his faith. The woman asks for your aid. She feels the priest can still be helped, but she cannot pull him down on her own. Elsifor's voice whispers in your ear. Don't listen to this priest. Toss her into the swamp. We can either try to stop the priest, which is a fight, or push the Frogkin woman into the swamp. I don't trust this demon. Let's try to stop the priest. After agreeing to help the woman, you work with her to pull the priest down from the idol. He desperately attempts to scramble back up, but the woman holds tight to his rope belt. The priest turns to fight. Elsiphore's voice whispers in your ear. What are you doing? Leave the poor man to his misery. The combat is with the crazed frog king. The grace modifier tells us that in order to play a weapon card, you must move 1 stamina from one of your attribute rows to your fatigue box. Great, since we like to play weapons. The round tracker for the fracking makes us lose experience every turn. We need a lot of green, but then again we have ways to change colors into green. Let's just draw the 7 randomly and see what we have. We can now play cards, but first I could add the 3 here. We can start with the longbow to decrease this 4 green into a 3 and maybe place it on the first one because it does 4 damage. For the second card play, let's use Stone Skin to add 2 green dice. Let's move those out of the way. And as usual, when we add the dice, we roll them. We have 2 6s. Okay, I played 2 cards. Oh, we played a weapon. I must move 1 stamina from the attribute rows to the fatigue box. Let's move it from strength as well. For the third card, let's play climb to flip. Let's flip both of them. We can flip up to 2 into 1s. For the fourth one, let's play longbow by adding another stamina in order to increase a green die by 2. And let's place it. And I can play only 1 more card. Considering this, I will use the fighter class ability in order to return all weapon cards from your discard space and spend space back to the hand. This will be these 2 and 2 more. And I will use the last bonus play limit in order to play again the longbow and take 1 more damage in order to increase this 1 into a 3. We filled all the dice slots. Let's return the discarded card and the dice. As a benefit, we get 1 XP and 1 gold. You best the Frockin priest in battle and he finally gives in. As his hammer and chisel clatter to the floor, the faithful Frockin woman takes his hand and leads him away. As they go, you overhear her tell him, "You'll need to let the truth come out." When they are gone, Elsiphore appears at your side. "Well, that was a horrible play," he says. "I expect better of you in the future." Reveal title card 48. Triumphant of the Faithful. "I'll be honest," says Elsiphore. "I'm still getting to know you and I don't know if I can trust you yet. I took a peek at your past and saw that you're a member of the King's Guard, wrongfully imprisoned and escaped from Kulbak. All this feels very promising, but what I need to know is how will you respond to your fellow soldiers? Reveal discovery cards 12 and 34 and place an XP on each. One is the King's Guard, Camp, which is circle and 4, and an abundant market, which is star and 1. Place encounter tokens 3 and 4 in a group on the table to create a pool. Flip them face down and shuffle them, and place encounter tokens face down on each newly revealed encounter space. This one here and this one here. General Grick and your other so-called friends in the King's Guard come here to kill me, but they couldn't figure out how to get me out of this tree. Most of them are camped to the west with something precious. A few soldiers went on a scouting mission. I've got them playing a little game in the old market to the east. If your entire party is exhausted, it's not. We can use an item rest or move to another location. I think first use the items and then rest. For the starfish, you let your starfish crawl around on the rubble that fell from the face of the frogging god. It seems to enjoy running its many tiny feet over the god's eye. The idol's mouth on the floor speaks. This does not please me, he says. The basilisk? The basilisk egg stinks. Even the frogging god thinks so. You can tell. And together, you place the starfish in one hand of the faceless idol. In its other, you place the basilisk egg. The starfish begins climbing down one arm and the egg drips mucus down the other. The frogging god is clearly not pleased. Disgusting, he says. I said that we are going to rest. I will spend 2 experience in order to roll 2 dice and heal 8, which means to remain. We return the bonus play limits and the spend cards. We flip the class ability and refill the attribute rows. One, two, three, four, and with the rest completed, we have a choice. Maybe first the King's Guard camp. But before we reach, we have encounter number 3. If you have the title Haunted, I don't think, but we can look. We do. This is because we took Katandor's horn. I also forgot we need to add 1 stamina to the rest track. As you traverse the bumps and dips of the giant mangrove roots, you are surprised to see Elsifor chatting casually with a ghost of Katandor. Elsifor sees you and approaches, shaking his head. Today is a lucky day for you. Katandor is rightly upset about the loss of his horn. He wants to nail your tongue to a shell of a snapping turtle and throw you into the swamp. But I've talked him into giving you a choice. You can have a trial by turtle, or you can make a blood offering to Ur-Anbak, the kobold god of vengeance, begging his forgiveness. So, what do you think? Take the turtle test, a strength and constitution check, or make a blood offering. Take the turtle test. Elsifor snaps his fingers and you find your tongue nailed to the shell of a giant snapping turtle. You take a deep breath and hold it as Katandur pushes you over the edge of the root path into the murky swamp water. The turtle dives deep into the muck in an attempt to shake you. You'll have to pull yourself free, hopefully without ripping your tongue, before the beast drowns you. Still holding your breath, you brace yourself for the pain. An endurance 2 skill check. Which will require green and reds. Maybe 2 greens and 1 red. And the dice limit for the level 2 skill check is 6. We can add the 4. And that's about it. Not very lucky with the skill checks. 4 cards to play in order to make this happen. We can use the basin to increase a die by 1 and decrease another die by 1. I think I will decrease the black to a 4 and increase the green to a 6. And I can add the 4. Let's use Relentless to turn this red into a green, and use Climb to flip two greens. One will flip into a 6 and the other one into a 1. Into a 2 will flip this one. And we can place them. I've played 3 cards. I only need a red 2. I can use the skies in order to flip this 6 into a 1. And the Warhammer for a bonus play limit in order to increase the red by 1 and place it. We completed the challenge. We returned the discarded cards. We get to experience. You free yourself from the giant snapping turtle's shell and escape to the surface. Elsifor and Katandur both look impressed. You see them speak and Katadur vanishes. Each player roll 1 die and add a number of stamina to your fatigue box from the supply equal to the resort. Thought it was a good thing, not a bad one. And of course we roll the 6. So here's 5 and another 1. Return the hunted title to the deck. If your entire party is exhausted, not yet. We can rest or continue along our path, which I think I will do. If there's no XP at this location, there is, otherwise collect the XP. The King's Guard camp is a nearest site. The Orcish General Grick and his soldiers stand staring skyward, all fixed in place. The form of a gigantic worm made of ice towers over Grick and its soldiers. It too is frozen in place. An unattended cooking fire still crackles in the center of the camp. If any player has the Eye of Ulos artifact card. It appears not. Elsifor explains the scene to you. When your cloaked countrymen bound me to this awful tree, they exposed a trinket and opened a rift to the frosty plain of Iktel. This friendly creature fell right through and attacked an otherwise boring collection of soldiers. I thought it would be best to hold them in place until you got here. Elsifor floats across the camp to a sword with a red metal hilt lodged firmly into a root swamp. Recognize it? Elsifor asks. It is the sword of the immortal knight, a sacred treasure to Nalos and a fine blade as well. The shadow snaps his fingers. Instantly, the whole camp comes to life and scrambles to defend themselves as the ice worm opens its face, revealing a cavernous maw full of jagged fangs. Elsifor floats over to you and watches you with interest. What will you do? Help the troops fight off the ice worm, a fight, or help yourself to the sword while they are distracted? I think we should help our friends fight. You charge to the defense of the King's Guard. Elsifor shrugs. Oh well, he says, good luck, I suppose. As you head into battle, another member of the King's Guard takes up an ancient blade and charges towards the beast. He is immediately lifted up by its icy jaws and thrown deep into the swamp. We get to fight an ice worm. Which requires a lot of blues, which we are not good at. I think for the first round, just like last ones, I will just draw the 7 dice randomly. And we have no blues. Can we add anything? We can add the 2. And that's it. Let's play friendly to turn this white 2 into a blue. because it will deal the most damage. This is a spent card. For the second card, I will play weak to turn this 6 into a red. Maybe not like that. Let's spend famous to turn the purple into any color and turn it into a blue. For the third card, I can play grapple to increase or decrease die of the class color by 1 or 2, and I will increase the 4 into a 6. I've played 3 cards. I need 2 5s, which I don't think I can do. Let's play foolish to turn any color into a white and place it, and with another bonus play limit, I will turn the other color into white as well. We completed the combat. Let's return the dice and the spent cards. The benefit is 3 experience. You slay the ice worm, and the remaining members of the King's Guard gather around you. General Greek steps forward with his axe shouldered. You can tell that he and his soldiers recognize you from your meeting near Black Lake, and you get a sinking feeling in the pit of your stomach. If the news of your trial and escape from Gulbak has reached Bogroot, you are about to be caught. But General Greek gives you a hard punch to the chest, the traditional orc expression of gratitude. You have done well, he says. My compliments to Zalik for sending you to us. Perhaps you will have better luck in this rotten swamp that we have. Greek explains that he and his soldiers must move north into the abandoned lands. He orders you to remain and chase Elsifor out of Bogroot. Greek's opinion will likely change once he learns of your alleged crime, but for now, as he leaves with his soldiers, you've escaped the justice and retain his trust. Reveal tarot card 52, which is Greek's soldier. You are now alone on the small island among the roots of giant mangrove. The cooking fire still smolders, its coals glow brightly. If your entire party is exhausted, not yet. Use an item rest or move to another location. Maybe use our items and start again just like before with the starfish. You set the starfish near the smoldering campfire. It crawls away. Bogroot is already hot enough without sitting next to burning coals. And the egg, you place the basilisk egg into the hot coals, and the slimy coating around it begins to dry and flake away, revealing a lovely light blue shell underneath. Return Discovery card 97 to the Discovery deck and reveal Discovery card 83. A baked basilisk egg. Well, why not use it? You look closely at the baked basilisk egg. It's now clean and smooth. It actually smells a bit sweet. Maybe together with the starfish? You hold the basilisk egg and tell the starfish a little story about how you baked the egg in those hot coals to make it all clean and pretty. The starfish doesn't seem to be interested in your tale, but it does like your egg. We have another item that we can use around this place. Maybe try to use it first before we go to the abandoned market. Let's go to C. Inside the observatory, an indentation marks the absence of a large 5-pointed star. And use the item, maybe start with the basilisk egg. You put the baked basilisk egg back in its empty nest. You wonder if the egg remembers when it used to live here, and you feel strangely nostalgic for the egg's youth. Ah, for the good old days. Together with the starfish, you set your starfish on the floor and roll the baked basilisk egg to it. The starfish is no good at this game. Okay, so there's nothing here. Back to the mangrove. Elsifor floats lifelessly around the base of the mangrove. Well, he asks, have you finally come to free me from this wretched tree? No, we have not. You place the clean, baked basilisk egg at the root of the giant mangrove. It looks really nice. You really like this egg. What a great egg. Together with the starfish then, you hold the starfish to the baked basilisk egg and it wraps its arms around it. The starfish seems to enjoy the egg now that it's clean. Okay, so nothing here as well. Oh, we have one more chance at the frogging temple. In a simple stone temple surrounded by giant mangrove roots, the broken face of a frogging god Bogroot stares at you from the ground. The baked basilisk egg is much nicer than before you baked it, like much nicer. And you're sure the frogging god feels the same way. Together with the starfish, you place the baked basilisk egg in one hand of the idol of the frogging god. In its other hand, you place the starfish. The starfish crawls up the shoulders of the idol and down its other arm to embrace the egg. The broken mouth of the idol speaks from the floor. An imbalanced offering, he says. Okay, there's nothing for us to do. I think it's time to go to the abandoned market. And on the way, we have encounter number 4. If you have the title Troll Slayer or both the titles Rogue's Accomplice and Troll Foe. So no. The heat of Bogroot swamp is so punishing that you climb off the root path and down to the water to cool off. You find a muddy embankment where strange clothes lie scattered about. They are thickly made, like winter grab from mountain dwellers, but made of a fabric unfamiliar to you. Following the trail of this strange discarded clothing, you find an orange-skinned creature stripped nearly bare with several roaming eye stalks lying on the muddy ground, gasping for breath. The creature speaks gibberish to you at first. Then it produces a mechanical box from its belt which speaks. "Too hot," says the box. "Must go home." If you have item 66 to the party journal. No. You look at the overhead creature and then at the water just a few feet away. You wonder why it doesn't just move into the swamp to cool off. Something about its behavior, its strange discarded clothes, and its speaking machine makes you uncertain about the creature's motives. You notice its equipment lying nearby, open but unattended. Perhaps something in its back might give you an idea of where it came from and what it needs. Try helping it into the water or search through his gear. I don't know what this creature is. Let's help it into the water. You roll the strange creature over a few times towards the waterline. Once in the water, the creature seems much happier. In fact, it looks right at home. It speaks, but you don't understand. Its box translates. So strange, it's almost like flying. The creature's many limbs seem to make it a natural swimmer. It dives and spins. It races and twirls. It lazily paddles along the surface. And all the while it makes odd hoots of joy. After its reverie, it paddles your way to thank you. "You have saved me," translates its box. "I thank you." Then it grabs its back and swims off into the swamp. Reveal title card 51. Iceworld Ambassador. Rest or move to the next location in your path. I think we should just move to the next location, which will be the abandoned market. If you have either the titles Despised by the Demon or Elsephor's Banisher, nope. If there's no XP at this location, there is, otherwise collect the XP. In the center of an abandoned marketplace, 3 Kingsguard soldiers battle each other. 4 already lay dead nearby. A bottle of blue fluid rests on the ground in the middle of the fray. Elsephor appears beside you, looking pleased. "I poisoned them all, but provided only enough antidote for 1, he says. 2 were noble enough to take their own lives immediately. 2 more died in battle, and now this." He nods to the remaining 3, who point their swords at each other while clutching their own bellies in pain. "Here's the secret," says the shadow. "The poison only makes you sick if you do violence against an ally. Do nothing, and you'll feel just fine. So here's your test. You can stay here with me and watch them die, or you can play the fool and try to reason with them. Try to convince the soldiers to stop fighting each other, a strength and charisma check, or watch them die." I think we should try to convince them. You step into the fray and do your best to appeal to the wisdom of the remaining Kingsguard soldiers. You explain the situation to them. a wicked shadow trick them, the poison only hurts them because they hurt each other, and if they lay down arms, they will all survive. They look at you suspiciously. You're too dumb, called Elsie4 to you. You're wasting your time. If your king's favor is 3 or higher, each player adds 1 stamina to any of their attribute rows from the supply, ignoring the usual limit. It's exactly 3. This will be a strength and charisma check. Let's add it to the charisma then. And the check is persuasion too. I think we will rest anyways after this skill check. Maybe 1 charisma, 1 strength, and 1 wisdom. So a white, a purple, a red, and 3 randomly. And we have none. Great. Oh no, we have 1. Let's start with entrap. I can flip a 1, and I will flip this purple 1 into a 6. I can use the ancient tome to decrease it into a 5 and place it. And I will wait on using my ability, but I can decrease this 1 again with the ancient tome. I played 2 cards. The vampire skull allows me to decrease this white into a 1 and place it. 3 cards, and I need a red 5. I don't think this one will be possible. Let's add the familiar die for the 4th card play and roll it into a 5, which is perfect. I will use my fighter class ability to return all weapons. And for the bonus play limit, I will play again the Ancient Tome to decrease the 4 into a 3 and place it. We completed the challenge. Let's return the discarded cards and the dice. We get 2 experience. The soldiers lay down their swords and immediately begin to feel better. They thank you and wander back to their boat. We increase the king's card favor by 1. It's sad, really, says Elsie4. Once they found out you've escaped from Kulbak, they will be back here to round you up or kill you. Your compassion is wasted on them. But you know what? We all have room for growth. What you need is a change in personality. Elsie4 vanishes and then appears again behind one of the market stalls, now decorated with a colorful sign that reads Elsie4's Personality Shop. Step right up, calls Elsie4. For a few gold, you can also be the owner of some fine new personality traits. You find several small ice slugs climbing up the side of Elsie4's market stall. Spawn of an ice worm from another plane, he says. Here, you should have one. Elsie4 places one on your shoulders. Reveal Discovery Card 66. An ice slug which costs 1 energy to play. Shuffle the trade deck and reveal 2 cards. Place them face up next to the adventure map to create a market. We have Resolute and Devious. I also forgot, I just remembered about the backstory, which will be at location D. We will go there. Resolute costs 8 and Devious costs 8 as well. We have nowhere near that. While at location A, you may buy cards from this market for their price. If your Dragul favor is higher than your King's Guard, it's not. We are not yet exhausted. We can buy a trait from the market, use an item rest, or move to another location. I think first, maybe use the items. Start with the starfish. You set your starfish on the side of the market stall near the ice slugs. It seems nervous at first, while the slugs slowly gather around it. But soon it has made many friends. You see, says Elsie4, it's not so bad to get along once we know each other. the basilisk egg. You set the baked egg on the counter of Elsie4's personality shop. Gross, he says. Why would you ever do that to a perfectly good egg? I prefer them fresh and slimy. I don't think there's anything to do with the slug here. But there might be something to do at the ancient observatory. Maybe we can stun that starfish. I think first, though, we should rest. And I'll spend 3 XP. Let's not forget to place 1 at the rest rack. Roll 3 dice. And we have 9, 12. So 5, 10, 12. Let's return the bonus play limit, the class card, the spent cards, and refill. Back to D in order to check our backstory and maybe use the ice slug. I don't know what it would do here. Sure, let's use it once. We need to spend 1 stamina to the fatigue box. You let the ice slug roam over the fragments of the idol's face that are piled on the floor. It finds the frogkin god's open mouth and crawls inside. The jaws of the god clamp down as if to eat the slug, but then spits it back out again. We have come here to check the backstory for the exonerated. The broken face of the frogkin god reminds you of the shrine yard in Sobek. You hear Nephras whispering in your mind. Yes, she says, that fateful night. You fall forward through a veil of mist back to Sobek many years ago. You and your Bastia friend, Vintex, are young again, loitering in the shrine yard after dark. Vintex, on the verge of adulthood, has just signed up for the King's Guard, but he's having second thoughts. He tells you he might burn his recruitment papers and run away from home. Vintex wants an adventure, and he wants you to come with him. He shows you a ring and tells you he stole it from a Dragonkin Baron. It's magic, he says, with a shine in his eyes. I can sell it and fund our travels for a year. Tell Vintex you'll join his adventures. Tell him you'll join him in the King's Guard. This is perfect since we want to go with the King's favor. I don't think that it will change alignment, but let's tell him that you'll join him in the King's Guard. Exonerated player, move your alignment marker to the left. It's already at max. You tell Vintex that you'll sign up with the King's Guard too, and he smiles. You're a good friend to me, he says. It's like we share a heart. Vintex produces a flask from his coat to celebrate, but it freezes in place. The whole world is still, as if time has stopped, and Nephras stands beside you. You drank, she says, and he died. Suddenly you find yourself staring at a vision of Vintex's murder. 3 alley thugs, blades drawn, stand frozen in their attack on Vintex from behind. In the same moment you see yourself, drunk and alone in the distance, wearing the ring Vintex had taken. Moments later you would find your friend's body, and then the constable would find you, covered in Vintex's blood and wearing a stolen ring. The vision fades, and you find yourself back in the Frogkin Temple. Surprisingly, the ring is still on your finger, even though it was confiscated on your arrest. Nephras' whisper echoes in your mind. You promised him loyalty. Let the ring remind you. Reveal rare card 65 and add it to the exonerated player's hand. We have the Ring of Deodanda, which allows us to manipulate the purple cards. But this is a one-time use per adventure. I will try again at the Ancient Observatory. Maybe the ice slug can stun that starfish. I still need to add 1 stamina to the fatigue box, and I will use it in the combination with the starfish. You let the starfish and ice slug explore the Ancient Observatory together. They find a private corner and have a little chat. Come on. Okay, back to Sandhill Village. On the way, we encounter the construct gods again. If you have the keyword evade, we do this time. Your journey across Bogroot brings you to a low dip in the route path, where you find yourself surrounded once again by construct guards from Kulpak. Their ranks are tight and they entertain no conversation. Combat with a swarm of dangerous construct. Swarmov says that during the first combat round, the dice limit is reduced by 3 to a minimum of 1. And dangerous rewards cannot be gained unless all dice slots are covered. Well, it's not as bad as reducing the dice limit. We have 4 dice during the first combat round, and the most damage we get from the red and the blue. Let's spend 1 strength and 1 intelligence for 1 red and 1 blue, and 2 other randomly. We can play 4 cards. First, disguise to flip the 2 into a 5 and place it. Diplomacy to flip the 6 into a 1, or maybe not. I have 3 chain armor, which means I can play them in 1 action and re-roll red and white dice. Let's start by playing the first one and rolling the red one into a 5, which is perfect. Let's spend the next one to re-roll the white into another 5. I think I will just stop there. I can play diplomacy to flip the red into a 2. I've played 3 cards. And the vampire skull to flip the 5 into a 2 again. I don't think there's anything I can do for this turn. Let's just end it. We move the round marker. I take 2 damage and any damage from the uncovered dice slots, which is only 2 from the black one. A total of 4 damage. I put a 5 and return a 1. This dice goes back into the dice bag. And we are in the second round. Swarm off is no longer in effect. Let's just draw the 7 dice randomly. And roll them. And we have a 5. I only need a blue. And for that I can play Foolish to turn any color into a blue. It doesn't matter the number. With this we covered all the dice slots and won the combat. Let's return the discarded cards. And the dice. The rewards are 2 experience and 2 gold. By now you are familiar with all the construct's maneuvers, so you defeat them with ease. You pause to enjoy this moment of ease and freedom, knowing that this will not be the last of Kulbak's efforts to recapture you. Return this encounter token to the game box. We can rest or continue our movement. I will continue our movement to the Sandhill village. Moogbok sits by the shore eating passing insects. She welcomes you. Use an item rest or move to another location. I think first start with the basilisk egg. You show Mukbok the baked basilisk egg. All clean and pretty. Oh, yes, she says with uncharacteristic enthusiasm. That will do nicely. Mukbak hops quickly into her hut with a baked basilisk egg and returns a moment later with a blue potion. A potion of purification, she says. This is just what we've needed. Put this at the base of the mangrove. She hands it to you and wishes you luck. May Borglap be with you. Return Discovery Card 83 to the Discovery deck and reveal Discovery Card 73. And we have a potion of purification which costs 1 stamina to use. Maybe show her the ice slug as well. This costs 1 stamina. Macbook inspects your ice slug with some interest. I've never seen anything like this, but I think I have an idea. Macbook hops to her hut. You hear the grind of mortar and pestle from within. Macbook returns sometime later. Not my best work, she says, but it should do the trick. Return Discovery Card 66 to the Discovery deck and reveal Discovery Card 70. A freezing elixir, which costs us again 1 stamina to use. I have 2 ideas. Maybe something at the Frog King's temple with the god with the 2 hands that we kept placing things on, and the ancient observatory to stun the starfish. Maybe start with the ancient observatory, where I think I should just use the starfish and the freezing elixir together for 1 stamina. You pour your freezing elixir over the starfish and it stiffens into a rigid 5-pointed star which fits perfectly into the indentation in the wall. You hear a click and a ringing of gears. A door opens in the wall before you and leads you into an ancient Urgulium chamber. The earth shakes, the air crackles with green energy, and you catch a whiff of summer breeze blowing through tall prairie grass. Before you, a leather sack rests on a pillar. Inside the sack, you find a set of oversized knuckle bones, carved with runes, an ancient tool for divination. The bones hum quietly and glow when you touch them. You quickly tuck them into a Turgulium chainmail sack. Earth and air are still again. The smell of warm grass lingers. Return Discovery Card 68 and 70 to the Discovery deck. We won't be doing what I wanted. Reveal Rare Card 44. We found another artifact, the Rune Bones. Nothing more to do. I think we should rest and then go deal with Esphir. Add 1 stamina to the rest track. Let's spend... Do we need to rest? Let's spend 1 XP to roll 1 die and heal 5 and return the spent card. Back to the giant mangrove. We don't have any of the keywords and we only have the potion of purification to use for 1 stamina. You pour the potion of purification over the roots of the giant mangrove. The fluid sinks in and the roots start screaming. The earth shakes, the water across old Bogroot ripples, and Elsifor suddenly leaps from the trunk of the mangrove, swelling to twice his normal size. You've done it, cries Elsifor. Aren't you clever? Now let's see how you did with my little tests. Record the keyword purged. Return Discovery 17.3 to the Discovery deck. If you have 2 or more of the following keywords, look, deep, and within, no. Otherwise, continue to B16. Elsifor shakes his head. It's sad, really, he says. I had hoped you would amount to something, but you're no better than the rest. Elsifor towers over you as his smoke grows dense and menacing. His claws extend like daggers as he lunges for your chest. We have a combat with Elsifor. And he has a lot of dice to add. On the second round, we lose 2 stamina from whatever attribute tracks we choose. I also forgot, because I rested, I need to refill the attribute tracks, and those are the only ones. Many dice, just draw them randomly, 7 of them. And roll them. And we have a 6. And that's it. I think first the basin would be very helpful to increase a die and decrease another die. I will decrease this 2 into a 1 and increase the purple 1 into a 2. And place them. For the second card, Famous turns the purple into any color and it will be a red. The Jade Gauntlet allows me to turn any color into a 6, and I will turn this white into a 6. We can play one more card. Let's play Disarm Trap to flip the black into a 5. And I will spend 1 bonus play limit to play the Glass Dagger to decrease the 5 into a 4. And with this, I end the first turn. We move the round track marker. I lose 2 stamina from an attribute row. Let's go from strength. Let's return this dice. And I take 3 damage because of the uncovered die slots. We are at 11 fatigue out of 29. For the next turn, let me spend 1 dexterity and sure 1 strength for a black and a red. And 5 more randomly. 4, 5. And we have a 6 and any black. We completed the combat. Let's return the dice. The discarded cards. We get our benefit, which is 1 gold and 5 XP. Elsifor is startled by his own defeat. I really am impressed, he says. I can't wait to see what you do next. With that, he vanishes in a wisp of black smoke. Decrease the Dragul favor by 1. Increase the King's favor by 1 and the Starlit Door favor by 1. Reveal title card 50. Elsifor's Banisher. Your quest is complete. From now on, when Choice Indicator gives you the opportunity to move to another location, you may instead turn to the end, which I think that we will do. You head northeast from the Bogroot swamp, following close to the Stone Spine Ridge, which keeps you mostly out of sight. Even so, you sense that the hounds of Coolback are still on your trail. Unless you can find some place to hide, it is only a matter of time before they drag you back to prison again. After many days of travel, you must leave the shelter of Stone Spine Ridge and walk through open farmland. Every small town you pass through is plastered with wanted posters bearing your name and description. You take to walking at night and hiding during the day. As you travel, you reflect on your time in Bogroot. Let's see the titles. I think we have these 3. Elsifor's Banisher. You freed Elsifor from the giant mangrove and bested him in battle, freeing the Frockin villagers from Elsifor's tests. Now that the shadow is loose in the world, perhaps he'll think twice about challenging you if you ever meet him again. Oh, we also have Triumphant of the Faithful. You are sure the faithful Frockin woman will be glad to have Bogroot free of Elsifor. She seemed intent on saving her priest, even though he was clearly corrupted by Elsifor. You wonder if Frockin healing rituals are powerful enough to drive off a demon spell, or if a priest who failed the demon's test could ever be trusted again. Iceworld Ambassador. Somewhere in Ulos, there swims a strange creature from another world that you helped to the water. Imagine living on a plane of ice, never having seen liquid, and then swimming with such natural skill. You wonder where the many-eyed being will swim next, or if it will ever find its way home. Greek's soldier. General Greek's trust in you will not last. News of your supposed crime will have reached him by now, and you can only imagine his rage. Greek is the type who would rather have you cut his face than lie. You pray your paths will never cross again, or that you can clear your name before you see him again. In time, you arrive at the outskirts of Falandor, a small city that borders the Forgotten Forest. Rumor has it that the woods beyond Falandor are full of unruly spirits who guard the long-lost castle Carleval, a great wonder built thousands of years ago with satyr magic. If you can find it, you can rest until the hound gangs and bounty hunters give up their search. With Gulbach's agent on your heels, you press onwards through the streets of Falandor. We can now shop and spend our XP. Let's see our options. We have dedicated, which costs 8. We're not a construct, which means we don't have the reduction in cost. A sling for 5. Search for 5, because we reduce it by 3 for our wisdom. We have the spell and the leather pauldron. We have 5, 6, 7, 8 in total. Let's spend 5 to get the sling because we like weapons. And we will have 3 gold remaining for the next adventure. For our experience points, we have 23. In order to increase the combat dice limit, it will be the current value plus 5 for a total of 12. And for the bonus play limit, we have 5 plus the current play limit plus the current bonus play limit. So 7 plus 5, another 12. I think let's increase the bonus play limit for 12. This takes us to 4. And for the remaining 11, 2 attribute scores for 4. This is 8. And to increase health, it costs us 2 XP. So let's increase health by 1. And we save 1 for the next adventure. Our health goes to 30. And the attribute score limit is 6. This means that we cannot go above 6. I think maybe 2 constitutions, since we're a fighter, and take it up to 6. And with this, the 6th adventure of Roleplayer Adventures is completed. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. I hope you enjoyed this playthrough. Have a nice day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.